The Commonwealth period in English literature refers to the period between the execution of King Charles I in 1649 and the restoration of the monarchy under King Charles II in 1660. During this time, England was ruled by the Commonwealth, a republican government led by Oliver Cromwell and the Parliamentarians. Here are some of the most important events of the Commonwealth period. The execution of King Charles I. On January 30, 1649, King Charles I was executed for high treason. This event marked the end of the monarchy in England and the beginning of the Commonwealth period. The establishment of the Commonwealth. After the execution of King Charles I, the English Parliament declared England a republic and established the Commonwealth under the leadership of Oliver Cromwell. The First Anglo-Dutch War. The Commonwealth period saw a series of wars between England and the Dutch Republic. The First Anglo-Dutch War took place from 1652 to 1654 and was fought over trade and colonial issues. The Instrument of Government. In 1653, the Instrument of Government was adopted, which established a new system of government in England. This document established Oliver Cromwell as Lord Protector and gave him sweeping powers. The Second Anglo-Dutch War. The Second Anglo-Dutch War took place from 1665 to 1667 and was fought over trade and colonial issues. The Great Fire of London. In September 1666, a fire broke out in the city of London and burned for 4 days. The fire destroyed much of the city, including St. Paul's Cathedral and over 13,000 houses. The restoration of the monarchy. In 1660, after the death of Oliver Cromwell, the English Parliament invited King Charles II to return from exile and restore the monarchy. This event marked the end of the Commonwealth period. These events had a profound impact on English history and shaped the political and social landscape of England for centuries to come. The literature of the Commonwealth period in England was a reflection of the political, social, and cultural changes that occurred during this period. The literature of this era was characterized by a sense of experimentation, innovation, and religious fervor. Here are some of the features of literature during the Commonwealth period. Political and religious writing. The literature of the Commonwealth period was dominated by political and religious writing. Many writers were either supporters of the Commonwealth government or sympathized with the royalist cause. Political and religious themes were often intertwined, and writers often used their work to argue for their political or religious beliefs. Prose writing. During the Commonwealth period, there was a significant increase in the amount of prose writing. Many writers were interested in exploring new forms and genres, and prose was seen as a more flexible and adaptable form of writing than poetry. Plain style. The style of writing during the Commonwealth period was characterized by its simplicity and directness. This style of writing, known as the plain style, was influenced by the Puritan belief that writing should be clear and straightforward. Religious writing. The literature of the Commonwealth period was heavily influenced by religion. Many writers were Puritans, and their writing reflected their religious beliefs. The religious themes in literature during this period included sin, salvation, and redemption. Poetry. Despite the increased popularity of prose, poetry continued to be an important form of literature during the Commonwealth period. Many poets were interested in exploring new forms and genres, and there was a growing interest in scientific and natural themes. Experimentalism. The literature of the Commonwealth period was marked by a sense of experimentation and innovation. Writers were interested in exploring new forms and genres, and there was a growing interest in scientific and natural themes. The Commonwealth period in England saw the rise of several important writers who contributed significantly to the literature of the era. Here are some of the most notable writers and their works from the Commonwealth period. One of the most notable writers of the Commonwealth period was John Milton. He was a staunch supporter of the Commonwealth and wrote several works in support of the government, including The Tenure of Kings and Magistrates and Paradise Lost. The tenure of kings and magistrates argued that the power of the monarch was not absolute and that the people had the right to overthrow a king who abused his power. Paradise Lost was an epic poem that portrayed the fall of Adam and Eve and the battle between Satan and God. Another important writer of the Commonwealth period was Andrew Marvell. He was a member of Parliament and a supporter of the Commonwealth. He wrote several political poems, including an Horatian ode upon Cromwell's return from Ireland, which celebrated Oliver Cromwell's victories in Ireland. Robert Herrick. Herrick was a poet who is best known for his collection of poems Hesperides. His poetry was characterized by its sensual imagery, musicality, and religious themes. Thomas Hobbes. Hobbes was a philosopher and political theorist who is best known for his book Leviathan. This book argued for a strong central government and the importance of social contract theory. Sir Thomas Browne. Browne was a physician and writer who is best known for his book Religio Medici. This book is a spiritual autobiography that explores Browne's religious beliefs and philosophical ideas. John Bunyan. Bunyan was a Puritan writer who is best known for his book The Pilgrim's Progress. This book is an allegory that tells the story of Christians' journey from the city of destruction to the celestial city. Aphra Behn. Behn was a playwright, poet, and novelist who is best known for her plays The Rover and The Widow Ranter. She was one of the first women to make a living as a professional writer in England. Despite the political tensions of the time, literature during the Commonwealth period was marked by a sense of experimentation and innovation. Writers were exploring new forms and genres, and there was a growing interest in science and the natural world. This period saw the emergence of the scientific revolution, and writers were inspired by the new discoveries and ideas. Overall, the Commonwealth period was a complex and turbulent time in English literature. Writers were grappling with the political and social changes of the era, and their work reflects the tensions and contradictions of the time. Despite this, the literature of the Commonwealth period remains an important and influential part of English literary history.